There's a new tool that's available to help you strengthen your fundraising fitness. Hi, I'm Bill Stanczykiewicz of the Fundraising School, and this is the first day from the Fundraising School. I'm joined today by one of our faculty members, Eric Daubert, and Eric is the chair of the Growth in Giving Initiative. And Eric, you and your colleagues have come up with this new tool to help us know if we're ready to fundraise, and if so, how so. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, great question. Thanks, Bill, for having me. We're really excited. The name of the tool is called the Fundraising Fitness Test.
Yes.
And what it enables nonprofit organizations to do is essentially with just using 3 fields of information. You know, it's designed so that the least among us can hopefully manage to do the test. And the 3 fields are donor ID, gift date, and gift amount. So if you're tracking those 3 things, or you have a way to create even a donor ID, we actually work with some small nonprofits that just have names of people. So if you can create a number. But essentially, by running these 3 fields through this test, you can get a very comprehensive development audit of what's happening in your fundraising in your nonprofit organization. And this is really neat because what it does is it enables you to track some things like, what are my donor retention numbers? What are my donor retention numbers for my gifts under $500? What are my major donor pool look like? Who are the people that are in that major donor pool, and how much money are they giving? The premise of this fundraising fitness test is really a fairly simple concept. Back when I was doing fundraising 20 years ago in nonprofits and beyond, we had a metric that we followed, which was, did we make our goal? And if you made your goal, then things were great. Yippee-ki-yay, we're excited, everything's wonderful. Well, what we've recognized in the 21st century is that there are a lot of things that are happening behind that goal. Some donors are leaving the organization. Some gifts are being downgraded. At the same time, other new donors are coming on board. So it's really more of a 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of operation. And the fundraising fitness test lets you see and understand all of the things that are going on. So let me give you some examples. The fundraising fitness test, kind of big idea, if you will, is that we want to maximize our gains in fundraising, and we want to minimize our losses in fundraising.
Pretty straightforward.
Pretty straightforward. And of course, when things go well, our net increases every year. Our numbers grow. That's that goal number that I was talking about. So when we think about maximizing gains, we think about who are the new donors that we're bringing into our organization. The fundraising fitness test lets you track how many new donors you brought in last year. Another thing that we track in terms of donors in the fundraising fitness test is, are you recapturing donors that gave to you maybe in 2015 and 2016, but they didn't give to you in 2017? So how's that working? How's that process working? How many of those donors were you able to recapture in dollars?
Now, Eric, this is all very useful information.
Sure.
Does my donor database not do this for me? Obviously, you've been at this a long time. You would not have created something repetitive. How is this helping me advance my knowledge further?
Yeah, great question. So what this does is it gives you a customized report for your nonprofit organization. And a lot of nonprofit donor softwares don't necessarily do this. At the same time, we are actually working with donor software companies to improve donor software platforms. So some of our partner organizations like Donor Perfect and Bloomerang and Neon and others are actually taking these fundraising fitness tests, trying to bake them into their donor softwares so that you can run these tests simply and easily within the context.
How do I access the fundraising fitness test, and is there a subscription fee? How do I use this?
Yeah, great question. This is actually put together by a volunteer group of people. So it's a group of people working collaboratively from many organizations. Many faculty members from the fundraising school are involved in the project. So it's a labor of love, if you will. So the tool is free. You can actually go to afpfep.org and you can go to the tools section and download the fundraising fitness test tools for free. There's instructions on how to do it. There's even videos on how to run your data through the platform. And then you'll get your own customized fundraising fitness test, which will show you how your numbers are doing overall in your fundraising program.
And at the Fundraising School, we do encourage people to join AFP, your local chapter, network with fellow professionals. It's great professional development and enrichment opportunities, let alone what's available at the national and international level that AFP has. You mentioned AFP, then do I need to be an AFP member?
You don't.
Okay.
No, our goal is to, the goal of this group, I mean, sitting behind me are countless volunteers who put in efforts on these projects. Our goal is really to change the conversation when it comes to fundraising data. And so you don't have to be a member of any specific organization. You can just go to this site, download the tools for free, and you'll have your own customized report that you can, again, look at all these numbers and see how you're doing.
Eric, we know in annual fundraising, we can never know enough people. That process of getting people into our nonprofit as donors is a never-ending endeavor. And then, of course, once folks are with us in our nonprofit, that's who we often look at first to then have major gifts, encouraging them to increase their dollar amounts. How does this tool help me with those important fundraising functions?
Yeah, great question. One of the reports that you actually get in the fundraising fitness test is called the Pareto Principle Report. So what it does is it actually gives you a snapshot of your nonprofit, and it says, what percentage of my donors are giving me what percent of my overall philanthropy that I'm raising? The other neat thing about the fundraising fitness test is you can run it by category. So for example, you can run your annual campaign through it and see how those donors are being retained and grown and what percentage of them are giving to your overall annual campaign goal. You could do the same thing for a special event or any other component within your development program. What we're finding is, in fact, the national statistics that we've been able to accumulate is that 4% of the donors to nonprofits nationally are giving 76% of the funds to the nonprofits in our study.
Wow.
About 14% of the donors are giving about 89% of the funds to the nonprofits in our study. We're actually studying over 10,000 nonprofit organizations, millions of donors and gifts, and billions of dollars in data. And again, in concert and partnership with these donor software companies. The neat thing about that is that's interesting, but what's really interesting is what does your nonprofit organization look like? You know, your numbers may be very different, they may be very skewed. BoardSource has a great conversation happening around fundraising effectiveness and something they call the dependency quotient. Well, this Pareto principle aspect of the fundraising fitness test outlines the dependency quotient in your organization and gives you those numbers so you have a real handle on who are our major donors, what's the real impact to our total philanthropy, and then also how do we develop our programs accordingly so that we're making sure to service those areas of our development program in the best way possible.
Eric, how much training do I need? Can I go online? Is it fairly self-explanatory or is training offered?
It is, and AFP offers training. They actually have a donor retention workshop that is trained every year at the AFP conference.
Using this tool?
Using this tool.
Okay.
But also, you know, through the fundraising school, it's used in various aspects of the program. In the developing annual sustainability program, the fundraising fitness test is often utilized. In many of the master's courses, they've mentioned the fundraising fitness test and utilized it as a tool. So there is assistance offered here or through the AFPFEP.org website. And again, with the instructional tools, online efforts, we've made every effort to make it as available to the public as possible.
And give us that website one more time.
Yeah, thanks for asking. It's AFPFEP.org.
AFPFEP.org for the fundraising fitness test, a free online tool that you can utilize to really understand who's giving, how much, how often, where the gaps are, so you can be even more informed with your fundraising planning. You can also find out more information about the Fundraising School online at philanthropy.iupui.edu/the Fundraising School. You go online there, you'll see information about our public courses, some of which are taught by Eric Daubert, our custom training courses, some of which are taught by Eric as well. And while our public courses primarily are in the United States, we train 6,000 people around the world every year, and our custom training takes us to those other international locations. We now have quarterly webinars in February, May, September, and December, the second Thursday of every month, so be watching for those on our website. And of course, these weekly podcasts, which are available through the Fundraising School app, here on the website, as well as on our LinkedIn page. I'm Bill Stanczykiewicz, and now you are more fully informed on this first day from the Fundraising School.